Hello, I'm Denise Phillips and welcome to Northwood United Synagogue. This video, we are featuring the wonderful festival of Passover, which starts Erev Wednesday the 5th of April. And what I'd like to do is take the P out, the panic element of this wonderful, wonderful festival by showing you some good ideas, some chef tips that perhaps will make life that little bit easier. So by now you've probably done your shopping and you've decided what you're going to be making, but make it different this year. Keep an eye on what recipes were popular, what did you get left over, and make notes for next year. Put this little note perhaps near your Haggadahs, and then you won't lose them, because Passover ingredients, as time goes on, become more and more expensive. And often they're not so healthy, full of sugar, full of salt. The cereals, I've got a wonderful recipe for a granola, matzah granola, much for healthier options. Are your recipes KFP, kosher for Pesach? If they're not, and you are substituting with potato flour, cake meal, matzah meal, they don't always work. So use recipes tried and tested. I've got loads of lovely recipes on my website, jewishcookery.com, so do check them out. Maybe you've got some vegan or vegetarian guests coming over the Hagim. Want to give you a few ideas of what you can make, because maybe you've got meat on the menu and they want to feel equally inclusive. So good ideas are celeriac steaks, and maybe or even stuffed mushrooms. Cauliflower steaks or even red cabbage steaks work really, really well. So make your life easy by making some of these anyway, because I don't we need to eat too much meat every single evening. So what I'm going to be making is a breakfast recipe, and this is what this is. It is a strawberry and rhubarb compote, a recipe that has no eggs and no matzah. So I'm going to talk you through step by step exactly what I'm going to be making. And it starts by making this lovely nut mixture. And what I've done is I've lined my baking tray with baking parchment paper, and I've got 3 different types of nuts. I've got the whole almond nuts, I've got pecan nuts, and I've got these sliced almonds. What I did was drizzled a little bit of vegetable oil, a bit of honey or maple syrup, whatever you want to do if you want to make it vegan, and then a little bit of cinnamon, Denise's favourite spice. And I baked it, and I baked it for about 10 minutes. Please put a timer on, because otherwise they will burn, and keep an eye on it. And then all you need to do is chop this up. Now this makes an excellent topping for other ingredients, other recipes too. But for this particular compote, let me show you the next stage. So what I have here is some rhubarb. And maybe you've never used rhubarb before. Just remember, rhubarb is mainly water, and it's also quite sour. So I will show you how to chop this. And we're going to boil this. Just slice it into little pieces like this. It's all been washed. Okay, so we're gonna add this to our hob into the pot. Right, so the other ingredients: apple juice. Now the apples, okay, I've taken, and these are Braeburn red apples, and I've used these apples simply because they do add great flavour. So I'm going to cut it in half, remove the core, and then roughly chop it. So cut through the middle on both of them. Bring your knife together and slice. Gather it all up, put it in the pot, together with the other apple. There we go. Right. These are dried figs, which I've chopped up already. In that goes too, together with a little bit of sugar. Don't forget the rhubarb is sour. I'm gonna add the heat to this. A little bit of salt. And let that stew. Now, you can see I haven't really put that much liquid in, because what happens when you start to cook that rhubarb, it releases water, just like when you cook spinach, sort of all that water comes out. So we're just going to leave that to cook a little bit. And I'm going to move that to one side. And what I'm going to do now is show you, here's some I made earlier. Can you see how soft that is? That's after about 5-10 minutes. It's all got to go cold. And then the next stage is added when it's cold, is chopped up strawberries. So you can make a whole batch of this, put it in the fridge, so it's all ready for you for breakfast the following morning. Stir this together. And then, taking a little glass, I've got yogurt here. So what I'm going to do is put the compote on the base, stir that to the edges, add your yogurt, whatever yogurt you want. There we go. You can add natural yogurt, add a little bit of cinnamon to it, or even add one of the nut butters I've got here. I've got chocolate. These are all vegan, by the way. Cashew nut butter and almond butter. They're all kosher for Pesach and absolutely delicious. And then taking your chopped up nuts, which I'm about to do, roughly chop these and put that on top of your compote. So sprinkle those all on. Like this. And then if you want to add a little bit of strawberry on top, there we go. Something tasty, something delicious and kosher for Pesach. So I'd love to wish you a very happy kosher Pesach. Ma nishtana halayla hazeh. Why is this Pesach different from all others? Hopefully you'll be using some of Denise's recipes. So I'd like you now to bring Rabbi James Mindell to give you the Pesach spiritual message. Chag Sameach.
Thank you so much, Denise. What a delicious Pesach breakfast. That's definitely better than the matzah and jam I had last year, so I'm sure I'd like to try some of that. And what festival is linked more to food than Pesach? We know many festivals are linked to food, but Pesach is really the key festival. We know that all the mitzvot of the day, all the mitzvot of Pesach are all about food. What can you eat? What can't you eat? And what discussion of Pesach goes by without discussing the food or the cleaning? So you might have expected on Seder night, you'd just be talking about freedom. That's what it's all about after all. It's about leaving Egypt, it's about the freedom. But no, you need to have the matzah, you need to have the maror, you need to not have any of the chametz. And why is it that the Pesach is so much surrounded by food and all the different things you could have? Why is it not just about the talking or the experience or the hearing of the exile, of the redemption of the Jews from Egypt? And if we were in the Beit HaMikdash, if we were in the times of the temple, we would also be having the Paschal offering, the Pesach lamb, also on Pesach, also around food. And these mitzvot specifically all about the food. And I think the answer why Pesach is so much about food and not just about talking is that really Pesach is not just about hearing about it, history, his story. Pesach is really about zachor, remembering what happened to us. And memory happens through food. We remember when we eat the matzahs on Seder night, how the Jews in Egypt ate their matzahs before they left. And when we eat the maror, we think about the exodus, the bitterness of the slavery in Egypt. And therefore we really experience it and internalize it. It's sort of an upgrade. Instead of watching it in 2D or just hearing it in 3D, you really get a 4-dimensional experience. You're getting the hearing of the story and you're also getting the eating of the food. So of course the talking is important. It's about asking questions about the Manishtana, but we also need to remember to have that delicious Pesach food and really experience what it's all about on Pesach for the whole 7 days. So I think this Pesach, the message is remember the Exodus, discuss the miracles, and when you eat the matzah, see if you can find the taste of freedom within the crunchy texture that we all know and love. So I wish you a Chag Kasher v'Sameach, a happy, healthy and kosher Pesach.